Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, here to discuss some draft buzz around the Cowboys as the 2021 NFL Draft rapidly approaches. Could linebacker be the pick at number 10? I'm going to give this one just the 1 star. I think it's fairly unlikely, although it cannot be fully dismissed at this point because the Cowboys, well, they do weird things, and things could get weird in this year's NFL Draft. Now, the Cowboys are seemingly always linked to various off-ball linebackers. We'll break down several here in a little bit. And I would say that linebacker would be like the worst-case path in the sense that it actually would be a bad thing for the Cowboys. Going with a linebacker with the number 10 overall selection is not something this team should be pursuing. Yes, linebacker is an area of focus and need for the Cowboys in this year's draft, where they have Keanu Neal, Jaylon Smith, Leighton Vander Esch as their top 3 guys, all of whom, hypothetically, could maybe not be back with the Cowboys in the 2022 season if things don't go well. And yes, I would love to get more depth and add a potential starter down the road for the Dallas Cowboys as it relates to the linebacker position. But investing with one and the number 10 pick, their premium asset this offseason, the number 1 piece that they can use to upgrade their defense, is a bad idea. In general, insert any linebacker here is who I do not want the Dallas Cowboys to draft with the number 10 overall pick. Now you guys get your votes in for me in the comments section below. Any player, who do you not want the Cowboys to take with the number 10 overall pick in this year's draft? Go on down and get your votes in. Now, Micah Parsons, one of the big names there on that list in terms of like the generally viewed as the number 1 linebacker in this year's class. Now, on my list, he's actually number 2. He's not my number 1 linebacker. That is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah out of Notre Dame. Jamin Davis from Kentucky. Nick Bolton is actually my number 4, and then Zaven Collins is my number 5. Now, we're going to take a closer look at 4 of these guys who kind of, sort of, could be in play at number 10, or maybe more likely in a potential trade down scenario. That could certainly be a potential move by the Cowboys. Nick Bolton is not included in this conversation, though, because I'm higher on him than I think the Cowboys are. Beginning with Micah Parsons, who athletically checks off all the boxes, a fantastic size-speed combination at the linebacker position. I have coverage concerns. That's why he's my number 2 linebacker, plus, of course, the much-reported off-the-field concerns around Parsons. First-round grade for him, but a linebacker at 10, again, the value is not right at that position. If you trade down, totally changes the conversation. Parsons could be in play there. And I would love to see Dallas go after Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah if they traded down. Can't take him at number 10 unless the board falls in just a completely disastrous way, in which case you'd probably trade down anyway, right? Freaky athlete there. Not the biggest guy, listed at 216 and about that weight at his pro day. But I've seen players, Darius Leonard, I've seen Deion Jones play in the mid to late 210s, 220s and have success. I think he can be the exact same style of player. Jamin Davis out of Kentucky, meanwhile, has gotten a lot of late buzz in the NFL draft community, and it's easy to see why. He's a rocked-up build, great athlete, still a bit underdeveloped in coverage. Don't let the 3 interceptions kind of fool you. It's a bit deceptive there. I like him more mid to late round 1 if that's the route you want to pursue. Certainly not a top 10 pick. Now, Zaven Collins is our last one here on this list. Dane Brugler says he knows, and I believe him too, that the Cowboys have a first-round grade on Zaven Collins. I do not have a first-round grade because I don't know where I'm going to play him. I mean, he's huge, 6'4", 260, but as an off-ball linebacker, he should be a lot better taking on run fits and flowing to the ball and filling gaps than he is right now. He's a bit of a tweener player. He's not a pure edge. Not sure he really has the take-on skills yet to be a middle linebacker either, nor the run fit. So it's a bit tricky for Collins. And if he's at the pick at 10, I will be livid. If any linebacker's the pick at number 10, I will be upset. If they trade down, however, or even move back up into the late round 1 if someone's sliding, that is a whole different conversation. That one I'm on board with. Number 10 overall, not the route I want to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys Report is now on the News Break app. Go download it and support the show by using our link, chatsports.com/CowboysNB. Then search for us and, of course, follow us for more videos sent right to your phone. Of course, the News Break app at its best for news. Go figure, right? More importantly, local news, sports, politics, weather, all that good stuff there. If you guys are like me, you're not really great at staying up to date with what's going on in your community because I have built myself this beautiful little sports bubble, which I appreciate. But it also means I don't know what's going on in my community. But the Newsbreak app helping me be at least better in that area. Local news, weather, politics. Of course, we're going to stick to sports here on today's video. And, of course, videos from us here at Chat Sports. So go download the app today at chatsports.com/CowboysNB. I will make sure that link, by the way, gets put in the comment section and in the description. So all you have to do is click it and download it. It's that simple. Next rumor, Marvin Wilson in round 2. 2 stars on this one. If you had told me this, in September of last year, or 1 star, excuse me, I misspoke there. 1 star on this one. Thank you, producer Jeremy there. Erroneous on my part. 1 star is correct. If you had told me, hey, you get Marvin Wilson at 44 before this year began, I'd be like, yeah, I doubt that. He's awesome. And then this year came, and Marvin Wilson was bad, and there's no way around that. Now, the report from Mike Fisher is the Cowboys are looking at Marvin Wilson and says, well, could he be there at 44? I would be stunned if Marvin Wilson wasn't there at 44. Heck, I think he could be there at 74. I don't think Marvin Wilson nearly has the level of hype around him or even just evaluation around him that he did entering this year. Fish said that the scouts said Wilson had a great Senior Bowl. Well, no, they didn't. Marvin Wilson got hurt at the Senior Bowl and was there for 1 day. He did not have a good Senior Bowl. I'm sorry, I disagree with any scouts who say that. He does fill a need for this Dallas Cowboys team. You plug him in as more of a run-stopping, I'd say 1 technique, but he's kind of fluctuated between being a 1 and a 3, and he just wasn't as good this year overall. So if you can get him in round 4 or even late round 3, okay, totally different conversation. Spending your 2nd-round pick on Marvin Wilson, that is not a path that I think makes sense for the Cowboys. And frankly, and I'll say it now, and it's not going to change just because the Cowboys might take him, taking Marvin Wilson in round 2 would be a significant reach by the Cowboys organization. Now, do you guys want to draft a defensive tackle? I say yes, even though Fatty's Only is forever dead. If you agree with me, do me a favor and like today's video. We can't bring back Fatty's Only, but we can still speak the desire of adding defensive tackle help into existence. I think the reality of Wilson's drop is very well explained with this stat sheet. 9 games versus 6. So, yes, more games for Mr. Marvin Wilson. The tackles plummeted. The tackles for loss fell off a cliff. The sacks dropped. The pressure rate was kind of consistent, but still not nearly what you're hoping for there. The guy I saw in 2019, I was hoping to have a Derek Brown-esque breakout in 2020. And the exact opposite happened. He regressed as a football player. There are plenty of other better defensive linemen in this year's class. Do you want a better pure pass rusher? Levi Onwuzurike, Davion Nixon from Washington, Iowa, respectively. Do you want a more typical nose tackle? Aleem McNeil, Bobby Brown. I'd take both of those guys over Marvin Wilson right now. Not something I thought I was going to say after the 2019 season. And I'd also throw in Tommy Togiai there as well, who kind of a more of a 3 technique, but I think a bit more well-rounded right now than Marvin Wilson is. So I cannot do this. And frankly, that whole article from Fish kind of bordered on, hey, agent speak, more than, yeah, this is what the Cowboys want to do. If they do it, I'll be very, very upset. Whatever the Cowboys do during the 2021 NFL Draft, we're going to let you guys know. We'll cut in live before the Cowboys make their picks and do plenty of draft grades as well. So hit that big red button and subscribe today, youtube.com/CowboysTV. Let's talk kind of draft here. How about adding Richard Sherman after the NFL Draft? I'll give this one 2 stars, and kind of comes to us from Sherman himself, but also Bleacher Report, who listed Sherman as the Cowboys' top free agent target out there. I think what Sherman had to say was very accurate in the sense that what Sherman made this point, that apparently, and this is what he said, he has to wait until after the draft because teams want to try and gamble on a young corner and see that ends up being the case. And I think that's very accurate. At this stage in free agency, with the NFL draft just a couple of weeks away, and the NFL comp pick deadline ending on April 27th, players like Sherman, the veterans who remain unsigned, are going to wait until after the draft because teams want to see what, if any, young cornerback they can acquire via that draft process. The Cowboys, no doubt, are in need of a cornerback. Trevon Diggs, Anthony Brown, Jordan Lewis. Those are your top three. Maurice candidates kind of involved there as well. It's nothing particularly special. So, yes, cornerback remains a need. And I do think Richard Sherman, if he were to come in, acknowledging the whole Jerry Jones comments, that might actually make things a bit improbable, but I do think Sherman would be an upgrade, if at least compared to some of the other guys, right? But it's almost less about, okay, well, what are you getting from Richard Sherman right now? In 2020, not quite the same guy, 21 of 29, 4 touchdowns, wasn't as good. These are all per Pro Football Reference, by the way. Much better in 2019. The uncertainty around what Richard Sherman brings you means the Cowboys' first priority is going to be looking at a cornerback in the NFL draft. That is going to be their first move, and it's probably in round 1. Surtain or J.C. Horn, obvious fits there. In the event the Cowboys don't get one of those guys, or even maybe draft Caleb Farley in round 2, hypothetically here, of course, at that point, it starts to make more sense for the Cowboys to look at Sherman after the draft. But if Dallas takes a corner in round 1, or if they take a cornerback in round 2, I don't think it's that likely that they then have interest in Richard Sherman. Maybe round 2 or 3, they look for the stopgap veteran, which Sherman certainly fits that mold. If they take someone in round 1, they are not adding Sherman. So in reality, you can only pick one of these guys. Who would it be? Type RS for Richard Sherman or type PS for Patrick Surtain. Which one would you guys rather have on your roster? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Last rumor here, won't spend too much time on this one. Jaylon Smith going to get cut after June 1st. Fake news on this one. Not going to happen. Bleacher Report did not do their research. They did not take care of business and say, hey, we did our prep work here. They said Smith is a potential cut candidate with the top 7 guys out there in the NFL. Maybe the bosses said, hey, put a Cowboys guy in there. They had claimed that cutting Jaylon Smith after June 1st would save $7.2 million. That is false. That is not the case any longer because Jaylon Smith's base salary, as we told you guys here at the Cowboys Report, has already guaranteed. Even if the Cowboys were to make Jaylon Smith a post-June 1st cut, a salary cap tool that allows you to spread money into the future, the Cowboys would save $0 this year. So it makes no sense for the Cowboys to cut him. The reality is, whether you guys like it or not, Jaylon Smith is on this roster for at least one more year. Now, the tackle numbers for Jaylon have always been pretty good. He's always been a solid tackler despite some early season woes that kind of got worked out as the year went along. The coverage, the blitzing, all those things kind of died down a little bit as well. But Jaylon Smith is not going to be cut right now by the Dallas Cowboys. And I wanted to bring it up because I know I'm going to get asked about it like, well, Bleacher Report said they didn't do their research properly. The money has been guaranteed. Therefore, Jaylon will be a member of the Cowboys in 2021.